All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Chris's Sports Corner. Real quick, man. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday, man. Um, just want to say, um, little message for the day, man. Sorry, trying to get everything started up here. Little message for the day, man. Life will get you down, but it's not how many times you fall; it's how many times you get up. And when you get up, you attack that issue with vigor, ferociousness, and you get to a solution and you move forward. Life is simply about getting up more times than you fall. Um, and I really believe that. All right, man. So let me take these out real quick. Apologize. Let's talk about it, man. Draymond Green had a lot to say. We're gonna pay attention here. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna let you guys listen. Then I'm gonna provide a little commentary. You guys let me know what you think about this. Let me make sure we got it from the beginning. All right, here we go.
Watch Andre Drummond before the game uh, sit on the sideline, then go to the bat, and then come out in street clothes because a team is going to trade him. It's bullshit. Because when James Harden asked for a trade and essentially dogged it, I don't think there was no surprise or no, there's no one's going to fight back that James was dogging in his last days in Houston. But he was castrated for wanting to go to a different team, and everybody destroyed that man. And yet a team can come out and say, "Oh, we want to trade a guy," and then that guy is to go sit. And if he doesn't stay professional, then he's a cancer, and he's not good in someone's locker room, and he's the issue. And we've seen situations of Harrison Barnes getting pulled off the bench. DeMarcus Cousins finding out that he's traded in an interview after the All-Star game. And we continue to let this happen. But I got fined for stating my opinion of what I thought should happen with another player. But teams can come out and continue to say, "Oh, we're trading guys, we're not playing you." And yet we're to stay professional. At some point, as players, we need to be treated with the same respect and have the same rights that the team can have. Because as a player, you're the worst person in the world when you want a different situation. But a, but a team can say they're trading you, and that man is to stay in shape. He is to stay professional, and if not, his career is on the line. At some point, this league has to protect the players from embarrassment like that. We talk all of this stuff about you can't do this, you can't say that publicly. If you say that publicly, you're fine. Anthony Davis got fined, I think, $100,000 or something like that for demanding a trade publicly. But you can say Andre Drummond is getting traded publicly, and we're looking to trade him publicly, and he's to stay professional and just deal with it. But then when Kyrie Irving say, "Oh, my mental health is off," everybody go crazy about that too. Do you not think that affects someone mentally? As much as we put into this game to be great, to come out here and be in shape, to produce for fans every single night, and most importantly, to help your team win, do you think that doesn't affect someone mentally? But as players, we're told to, no, you can't say that, you can't say this, but teams can. It goes along the same lines of when everyone wants to say, "Oh man, that young guy can't figure it out," but no one wants to say the organization can't figure it out. At some point, the players must be respected in these situations, and it's ridiculous, and I'm sick of seeing it. Y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all tomorrow or
All right, guys. That's that. Let me take this crap off the screen real good. There we go. All right, so that's that, man. I think he said what he said. Ultimately, I will say that I agree with Draymond. I agree. You look at the several situations, players do get fined for demanding a trade, and then an organization can come and say, "Well, we're going to trade him, so we're going to sit him." It is a double standard. We can't argue that. Now, there's certain situations where he pointed out, like the Kyrie Irving situation, James Harden situation. I don't think people were too mad at James Harden wanting a trade. Like, you got the right to ask. I have no problem with no player asking for anything. You can ask. There's nothing wrong. I think the problem with James Harden was when he went as far as to, you know, be outwardly disrespectful to his teammates, being reportedly getting into fights with players, knowing he shouldn't be in certain situations, but he's going to parties and stuff like that, knowing the protocols that are in place for player safety, putting himself and other players, and my wife that walked by and shot me a bird, um, putting himself and other players' safety at risk. I think that was the problem with what people had with James Harden. With Kyrie Irving, he said he wanted a mental break. I think people didn't care. I mean, me personally, I didn't dog him for that. It was the way. I just think it was the way he handled it. I think with Kyrie Irving, it felt as though, and this is again, we're not in these locker rooms, we don't know this, but it felt as though Kyrie said, "Oh well, screw y'all, I'm just not showing up tonight." Text a couple of his players, didn't even text the coach. It was the handling that I think he got criticized for. But I'm of all people would tell anyone, if you need a mental health break, then do what you got to do. I'm not gonna what? Like nobody's gonna. No one in consciousness is gonna say make that man play because he got a contract, even though his mental ain't right. No one is gonna say that. But is Draymond Green right in what he said? Absolutely. We seen what they did to Anthony Davis. We absolutely seen he got, he was public enemy number one when he wanted a trade. I get it. The people that's going to argue on the player side is going to say, hey, well, the players they signed contracts. Okay. Well, didn't the organization sign a contract with that player too? So if the organization can demand a trade, the player can demand a trade. I have no problem with what Draymond Green said. I think that certain situations are a little bit above that. And what I mean by that is, like I said, with James Harden, it wasn't to me. Now, I can only speak for Chris. I can't speak for what nobody else was saying. But what I will say for me, the only difference was the way that they handled certain situations, especially with James Harden. For so long throughout his whole career, you look at James Harden's whole career, that one little time of issues is when all that started to come out, is the only time that you really said something negative about James Harden, other than some people criticize his playoff performance. But other than that, his whole career, you've been like a scorer, nice guy, cool guy, fun guy. Nobody ever had a problem with. But it was just that situation. Now, but James Harden in his right to demand a trade, absolutely. He can ask for what he wants. You can ask for what the Cleveland Cavaliers can ask for what they want for Draymond Drummond. Do not mean they're going to get it. But ain't nothing wrong with asking. I'm going to write in right now and tell my wife, baby, I need a foot rub for 2 hours. I'm not going to get it, but I get the right to ask it. That's how it go. I have no problem with a player asking for a trade. I get what Draymond is saying, but it should not be a double standard. It should be one standard, and I think the league must address it. But let me say this in finale. I am always proud of the way the NBA handle majority of their things. This is an outlier because they always support their players. They're always siding with their players for the most part. There's instances where they're not. But at the same time, the NBA is just not an organization I'm just going to pound on. But, hey, I understand where he's coming from, and he got a right to feel that way. With that being said, guys, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you thought on this, man. Until next time, you guys be good.